I just want to do a quick review on the Neo 1.6 because when we were actually looking at buying this heater, there wasn't a lot there. There was a few bits and pieces, but mostly from manufacturers. So it was all fancy, it was all clean, and they just show you a picture of the fire going and, oh, look at that, that's beautiful, yada yada, blah blah. But I did a lot of study on this, and we've bought this house probably 3 years ago, not quite, and we wanted to build our refurbishments around this heater. We didn't really have a lot of space in our kitchen area. We've knocked out a wall and done a few bits and pieces, and we want this to be a bit of a centerpiece. Now, this is the 1.6. The 2.5 was going to sit out from the wall a little bit too far. So we've been able to gain a fair bit of room here. And of course, I've done a stone wall in the background, which allows us also to utilise the heater space. So it's only about 150 off the wall there. We've used the perforated flue, which works a treat, puts out that little bit more heat. Also heats the wall up at the back here, makes it a little bit more radiant. And one of the big things, this is an older house, and one of the things I looked at was the more energy efficient homes wouldn't allow the air intake, because these heaters obviously draw a lot of air. So we've actually put in an intake system. I don't know if you can actually see it, but there is a pipe there which goes through the wall, in through another cupboard, out on our eaves. Sorry for the light. So it goes up through the cupboard there, over the roof, and out under the eave there. So we can actually utilise the air from outside, which I put in so we wouldn't draw as much air through any of the air spaces under doors whatsoever. Once we put that in, yes, absolutely, I love this heater, love it. I can't speak more highly of it. I've had a heat charm for 13 years. It was great too. But because we've moved into a little bit of a smaller house, we wanted something that was going to burn hotter and become a little bit more energy efficient. So we're sort of looking at an area. It's not a huge area in this part of the living area, maybe 11 metres by 12 metres across. A small hallway. We're not trying to heat bedrooms or anything like that. The one thing we do notice is that, see how these doors are open slightly? So that there's a bathroom. If you leave that door open, you can feel breeze because it's utilising the fan systems in both the toilet and the bathroom. It'll draw the cold air in from the roof coming through those doors and into our living area, which I live in shorts pretty much 12 months of the year. So if I'm sitting in a chair over there, I know when someone's left the door open. Now, I've put draft systems or draft breakers, I should say, on all the doors to stop any draft coming in, but you do notice a draft pulling through when it is in full swing. So there's not a huge area through here. Going to another lounge room, a little bit of a hallway. We're not trying to heat the bedrooms, okay? So we're not trying to heat a large house as such, but this thing actually works a treat. The one thing I will say, when they did their advertising for the baffle system, that you can change the baffle out, clean the flue out and all that quite easy, no, it's not a 2-second job. Once this heater's been going, because we do run it hot, things start to break down. There is metallurgy happening there, like it's actually breaking down the stainless. I've cracked a few bricks, so it's only a bit over 2 years old, and I think we'll have to replace the baffle and the bricks in the centre there after this season. But in saying that, I absolutely love this heater. The automated fan is a must-have. Love it. Like at the moment, I don't know if you can see it, sitting on about 300 degrees, a little bit over. If I put more wood in there, yep, I can get a lot more heat out of it. In the room at the moment, it's probably sitting on about maybe 26 degrees in here. It's quite warm. Outside, pouring rain, and it's about 11 degrees outside Celsius. So highly recommend the Neo heaters. I've cooked on it a lot. The stove system does work, which is the top hot plate here. Works quite well. Can do a pulled pork, get it cranking in the oven for a while, let it get hot, and then onto the stove. If you're going to try to cook something on top of this stove, you'd have to allow a fair while or have it cranking all day so you can get the heat out of it. But for the pulled pork, we just let it sit there and simmer most of the day. Other than that, I love it. We don't use the ashtray underneath it. Usually I just a shovel and just straight into the thing. The ashtrays, I don't know, Australian talk, it's a bit of a wank. I'd rather just clean it out with a shovel. You do it in like 30 seconds and it's done. The glass stays fairly clean if you shut the fire down too early before you go to bed. So you've thrown 3 logs on and then you don't let them to burn black or get a real bit of a heat into them, and then shut it down. The next morning, the glass will be black as the ace of spades. It's not as clean as what they promote. And you'll always find that little bit of an edge there will always come up. It doesn't faze me. That heat has been burning for nearly 2 days and I haven't touched the glass. So yes, if you run it hot, the glass will stay clean. Shut down, we are on a bit of a hill. Now, when we get a real windy night, what happens is it'll draw harder. So you can put 3 logs on there and it will just about burn those logs out before you wake up the next morning. So you may have to get up through the night, get a log on and whatever. It says extended burns of 12 to 16 hours, whatever. Yeah, maybe on a really nice calm night, but the winds we get up here on the hill, they seem to make it draw a bit harder, even though it's shut down. So yeah, I don't know. But look, I love this heater. I don't store the wood underneath. We never have. We haven't bothered. The one thing to be careful of is obviously logs rolling. What I do is, you're not really going to see it, but at the front there is where the air intake is. I've always got a set of welding gloves handy and I'll clean that away, and that you always got to make sure that that's clear, because that's where your air intake from that back vent comes from. So if you want air intake to be good and the fire to run hot, you've got to clean the ash out from the front there. So it does pay to clean the ash out every couple of days. But yeah, hey, I absolutely love this heater. I love the style of it. Presentation, it's just really good. And the height is great. So when you're refilling at night, day, whatever, it is just a fantastic heater. So I don't know if that helped you at all, but anyway, yeah. I just thought I'd put that on there because all the other videos I've seen is like people just trying to promote it with pretty pictures. But this one's been there nearly, what is it, 2.5, nearly 3 years, and wrapped with it. Anyway, thank you. Bye.